Hi everyone, it's Karen Hooley of Karen Hooley Designs, and welcome to this week's event, which is our weekly Team Hooligan live chat. I'm on live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern, and I guess that's 11 Central and 10 Mountain. So if you live in any of those time zones, those are the times. If you live outside of the United States and Canada, you might want to check what time zone I go live. And if you don't want to miss when I go live, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. And if you're watching after the fact, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. And if you're watching on Rumble, hit that subscribe, which is above this window, and it's green instead of red. If you want to learn more about me, make sure you check out my website at KarenHooley.com. And I'm going to be actually talking about my website today. So stay with me because there's some new stuff that I'm really excited to share about it. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. And to do that, I just put on the ticker down below the subscribe link. And when you subscribe, you'll get a free pattern right off the bat. It's called Pace. It looks like pace in English, but Pace, it means peace in Italian. And that's the free pattern for my new subscribers and my current subscribers for 2021. If you are a current subscriber and haven't received it, let me know and I'll make sure that you do get a copy of it. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Instagram is where I go daily to do posts and videos and stuff like that. And I'm actually probably going to start doing a live video there once a week as well. It'll be a different day of the week. So check me out on Instagram. And I mentioned Rumble before. If you are looking for Rumble, this is my channel, and I just realized that I spelled channel incorrectly at the bottom. I will fix that later. That's my channel, so you can check that out as well. And if you're interested in joining Rumble and never heard about it, I do have an affiliate link right here that, let me just turn that ticker off. This is my affiliate link. Hang on one second. There it is. At the bottom there's a ticker there that shows where you can join Rumble, and that helps me out a little bit too. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that as well. So in the meantime, I'm going to go check in the comments and see who's here. Let's see. There's Lyndon Bratt. Hi, Lyndon Bratt. Hi, Patricia. Glad you're here too. If I sign up on Instagram, do you get credit like when I sign up for Rumble? No, that is, Instagram doesn't do that. They're part of Facebook. And so Facebook doesn't give you referrals for anything like that. That's just the way it is. It's more of, if you're following me on Instagram, it's a way of supporting. And what I really like when people do, and what really does help me with Instagram is if you share some of the things that I post, whether it's, so if you really like one of my videos, share it to your feed or to your stories. That really helps me. That helps more people get to know me. So if you do have people that are following you, or you are friends with other people on Instagram, that's a really good thing. I mean, you don't have to use Instagram a lot to help me out that way. You can just post it to your feed and that kind of thing. Dawn is here. Hi, Dawn. It's good to see you. And Deborah. Good to see you. Deborah, did you go by the community and see the video from Monday night for our crochet along? Pat reminded me to record it, and she mentioned you weren't there, and I noticed you weren't there. So I hope you got to see that. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I have been doing a crochet along with my Bewitched cowl, which I can't show you right now because it's in the other room. I'm going to take it off the blocking board a little bit later today. But it's drying on my blocking board. But I did a mystery crochet, or a regular crochet along with that pattern, and for the last 4 weeks I've been doing Zooms with the people participating, and then this next Monday we're going to be drawing prizes. So if you're watching this either live or after the fact and have registered for the crochet along, make sure that you join the community and post a photo of your finished bewitched cowl, and that will enter you into the drawing. I'm going to pick 2 winners, and we're going to do that next Monday night. So if you have a question about that, let me know, and I will make sure that I answer all your questions and get you in there. So so guys, how is your week? It's been a crazy week for me. Well, before I get into that, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. I'm still working on this shawl. I haven't gotten that much more done. This is something that is for my next book. It's using Sock Obsession yarns in the colorway Rush Hour. I'm going to put that up there for you. This is her colorway Rush Hour, and it's the smooth sock base. You're really seeing the orange today. You're not seeing the pinks in there, and you're not seeing the grays as much in there. But the yarn is gorgeous. It's not normally my color, but it kind of looks like we were talking about last week, the sunrise and sunsets, the colors you see in the sky. So I just want to share that. I'm actually, my goal is to finish it by the end of the weekend because I have another project that's a super secret project that I really, really, really need to start on Monday. So I'm going to be working really hard on this. And I'll explain why I haven't gotten as much in a little bit. So, but I really love this colorway. And even though I am not an orange person, it's kind of, I don't know, it just spoke to me. So I really like that colorway. Let me just see here. Deborah said, no, I haven't yet. I was sad to miss. We were sad to miss you there too. But hopefully you'll be able to come this coming Monday night to watch the live drawing. It probably won't be as long unless people get chatty, so or have a lot of questions for me. Okay, so that was one first project. And then the second project, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think a lot of you know my daughter is getting married in September. And so when they were little, they helped me make Christmas stockings for everyone in the family. And because they were so little, what I did was I bought those really inexpensive, they're like the velvet fabric, and they were red and green and that kind of thing. And I bought everybody a red one, a red or a white one, I think is what I have, a red and white stockings. I didn't get to put them up last year, so I can't remember that right now. We were in a rental and everything for Christmas was in storage. So I didn't get to put up any Christmas decorations this past year. But they're red and white. And then what I did was, you know, in the button section of like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, they have those little packets of buttons where sometimes they're themed. And so sometimes they have words like Merry Christmas. And sometimes they have like trees and Santa hats all in one package. So I bought a bunch of those, or at least one package for each one of us. So there are 4 of us in our family. And I popped off the little sew thing on the back of the buttons, and we hot glued them to the stocking. So everyone in our family has a stocking with that on it. And at the top I used the, oh gosh, I can't think of what it's called, but it's that gluey colored stuff that had sprinkles in it that, you know, it had glitter in it, and I put our names in it and let it dry. I can't think of what it is. The puff paint. Thank you. My brain finally kicked in. The puff paint. I haven't used it in so many years that, but all our names are on it. So now that my daughter's getting married, I thought, okay, her fiance Bryce needs to have his own stocking, and hopefully he won't see this because it's supposed to be a surprise, but I don't think he watches my videos, so I'm not real worried about it. So I decided that this year I was going to knit stockings for everyone in the family. So I decided that since we all have our own, and if I don't get them all done this year, at least we have ours. But I've started Bryce's, and I gotta pull his name here so you guys can see it. So here's, and this is going to need to be blocked very, very, very much. But there is the top of his stocking, and there's the trees that I've already done at the top, and then I've got paw prints here because he loves his dog, so it's gonna have paw prints on the next one, and then there'll be snowflakes, and then there'll be a heel, and then there's a kind of a snowy type of it's more of a geometric pattern, but it gives you a really Christmassy look. And then there'll be the toe. So the cuff, the heel, and the toe are going to be red, and the rest is white background with red. And the reason I did that is because he and my daughter met at Washington State University, and that's the school colors. So his is going to be white with red, and my daughter's is going to be red with white. So I'm doing their two first, and then I'll do my son's, then I'll do my husband's, and then I'll do mine. I'm always last. I always make mine last because I want everybody else to have theirs before I get mine. So that's the other project I've been working on. And then I've been working on working with you guys, those of you who've been part of the mystery or the crochet along. I keep calling it mystery because I haven't done a full regular crochet along in a while. They've all been mystery ones. So, but I've been, doing things behind the scenes for that. So that's what I've been working on. What have you guys been working on? Anybody want to share something that they've been working on? I'm going to take this banner off so it's not there. So anybody working on anything interesting you want to share? I wish I could see you. Unfortunately, thank you, Deborah. Thank you for kind words. I think I can't wait to block it and have it not be so kind of ripply. My biggest problem with knitting color work is being too tight and pulling my threads too tight. It's so funny because I can do crochet color work and not be too tight, but with knitting, in fact, I knit color work inside out because that helps me keep, even if I pull it a little tighter, when I reverse it, it won't be so tight and then blocking it will definitely straighten it out a little bit too. So anyway, I was going to tell you about my website because that's the reason why I haven't done much crochet work this week. I think I mentioned last week that I was going to move my shop or my website to Shopify because I was having so many issues last year. And I'm still having issues. I spent 4.5 hours yesterday on the phone with my old hosting company trying to get a hold of somebody who could fix my problem so that I could, because I had the new site live, but I needed some information from the old site. I didn't delete it. I still have 2.5 years left on my old site. So I'm not going to delete it because if I need to pull information from that, I still can, but I can't access it. It keeps telling me it's not there, even though it is there. And supposedly I am going to get a response from their tier 2 support in 24 to 48 hours after 4.5 hours on the phone and using their live chat system. So don't even get me started with support. But I wanted to show you my new website because there's a few new things on there that you guys might not have seen yet if you haven't been by my website there. I have moved over to Shopify, and actually I think what I'm going to do, is that big enough for you guys to see, or would you rather me just do the full screen of the website? Anybody have a preference? I think I might just make the whole screen. That way, when I go over there, I can see what I'm doing too. Okay. So this is my new website. My search bar is now up here, and there's information here. You can create accounts, stuff like that. I've streamlined kind of how you can find my patterns and books and online classes. You just click on, patterns are broken out. Books are all going to be on one page now, so I'll just do that so you guys can see that. And then online classes, I don't have any listed right now, so I'm going to be doing that in the next week or so for April. So just be watching for that. News, I don't have anything yet. That's my blog usually, and that's what I've been trying to get off of the new website, or off of the old website. So news doesn't have much here. Freebies doesn't have much because I've been trying to pull that off too. And it's making me crazy. So, and then there's my resources. Now, my resources, what I'm trying to do is I am trying to move some of my blog posts that were actually blog posts into different content information. So like my favorite products, I talk about here, this is something that a lot of designers ask me for information. So like I use MailerLite for my newsletter and Instant Ink to save on my printer ink, and then Sticker Mule is how I get my custom stickers, stuff like that. Eventually I'll have other things up there too, but I just wanted to get started with some easy ones that I could do. Project Hacks, this one I actually was able to get off the website before it wouldn't let me do anything anymore. Hacks are going to be things like how I created my winding station out of an IKEA trestle. The leg, it's a leg from, oops, you can't see that right now. Oh, there we go. This is where my inspiration was from, and then I show you how I built mine. The IKEA trestle is this part down here. If you're not an IKEA person, you may not know what I'm talking about, IKEA. But this is one of their legs that I used. So that's kind of what I'm doing here under hacks, is anything that I come across to make my life easier. So that's one of those things. And then how to, and this one also, I didn't have a problem getting this blog post down. So this is the first one, how to work with hand-dyed yarns. What I'm doing is I'm reposting all of the old blog posts that were how-tos, and I'm going to do one a week until they're all reloaded back onto my website, so that I'm not just throwing everything out there, and maybe it'll bring you guys, some new news about old posts. So that's kind of where I'm at with that stuff. And then all the other stuff that I used to have up in my toolbar or up in my navigation is now down here at the bottom. So you can find about me, and I actually posted my story here, how to book me for an event, testimonials, the information about being a pattern tester. So if any of you are watching this now, I'm hoping before the end of the week, if not Monday for sure, I'm going to be doing my next pattern test. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go here and click on that and sign up to be a pattern tester. Hooligan Rewards I'm going to talk about in just a second. Wholesale, and then we have my contact form, who stocks my patterns and books, the errata, my terms of service, all the legal stuff is here at the bottom. And then my social media, and then to subscribe to my newsletter. So the front page looks a little bit different. It's kind of the same as the old website, but not quite. I mean, it's changed a little bit just because it's a new format. But I wanted to show you that. That was really kind of the biggest part. But then also I wanted to show you Hooligan Rewards, because this is new. You guys know before Christmas, I think I set up the original Whooleygan points system on the old website. And I'm going to actually put myself back here so I can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Oops. Let me go solo. There we go. And then here we go. That's what I want. Okay. So with the old website, I had Hooligan points, and they were all set up, and a ton of you signed up and have points already in the system. Well, the cool thing is when I switched things over, I was able to transfer those points over. So if you had points on my old system, you now have points on my new system. The only difference is that it's a different system, and I've had to set up my points a little bit differently. But right now, even though the points are in there with your name, if you have to re-register for an account. So you need to make sure that you use the same email address that you used in the old system. And if you can't, if that old address is not available to you, let me know, and I can do some point transferring behind the scenes. But literally, if you click on that Hooligan Rewards down here at the bottom, it talks about becoming a member, and you can get your points. But here's what I wanted to show you. You can earn points just by signing up. So for those of you who already signed up, you'll get another 25 points just by signing up here. So that'll add to your point balance. For every order that you place, once you've signed up, you've got to be signed up. You can't be a guest. If you're a guest and don't create an account, you won't get these points at all. For every order you spend, you get 1 point, or for every dollar you spend, you get 1 point. So if you spend $10, you get 10 points. If you spend $50, you get 50 points, that kind of thing. If you follow me on Instagram using this screen, you can't just go to Instagram and follow me. You have to click on this point. And if you already follow me on Instagram, you can still do that. But you got to click on, once you're logged in and joined, you've got to click on this link to follow me on Instagram, and it'll give you the 50 points. And if you're already following me, it'll already know that you're following me. I've tested this out, so you get the 50 points right off the bat. And then if you choose to put your birthday, and it's just the month and the day, it's not the year, every year on your birthday you'll get another 100 points. So that's how you earn points. And then the other way you can earn points is by referring your friends. So if there's someone that you have in a guild that doesn't know my patterns, or you meet a crocheter somewhere and you talk about my patterns and you refer them to my website by giving them a special link once you're in the system, they'll get a 10% off coupon and you'll get 100 points for every person, and that's unlimited. So however many people you refer, you'll get 100 points for each person. So that's another way to add points. Now, you want to know what those points will give you. So, if you get 250 points, you'll get a 5% off coupon if you choose to keep that coupon. If you don't opt to get the 5% off, you can keep adding to your balance, and at 500 points, you'll get a 10% off. And at 1,000 points, you'll get 15% off. So there you go with points. There's several of you out there. I don't know if you're watching right now, but there's several of you out there that are close to the 250 mark. So if you want to join, or if you want to keep earning, you can get that first 5% off. So I just wanted to show you that because that's what I've been working on behind the scenes. It's been a rough road getting it over there. Like you said, the blog's not over there yet. Most of my pages are over. There's a few that aren't. And the other thing I should mention, when you look at like patterns, I'm going to use my shawls just to show you. So here's one of my shawl patterns. You now have the option of digital and print. Now, right now, I don't have any print copies of Xanthopsia in stock, so it's going to say sold out. But if I do order some and I get them in stock, it'll come up and say you can order print, because I've been getting asked by a lot of people to do print patterns, and so in fact I've been getting a lot of orders for the patterns that I do have in print. I can show you what that looks like. So like Whimsy, I'm pretty sure I have those in stock. So if you go to print, you go to print, you can order up to, I don't know, however many I have in stock. So if you have a guild that wants to do one of my patterns, you want to order more than one, you can do that. If you are doing a digital pattern, however, it won't let you order more than one digital at a time. So that's just because I've had people in the past want to buy a digital pattern for themselves, and then they end up ordering 3, and they get these 3 downloads, and they don't need 3 downloads. They only need the 1. So I've been able to do that. The other thing too now is compared to my old website, which just was a hassle. If you ordered Modern Italian Lace Crochet, you couldn't order the digital version. Now you can. I have to update this because I do have digital in stock, and I don't know why that's showing as sold out, because I do have Modern Italian Lace in digital. But any of my books that you order, I'm going to go to Garden of Shawls and see if that's working. There's print and there's digital. Yeah, so it was same thing with the digital on these. You can only order 1. And then the other thing with these too is that if you order the print book, I don't know if I have that included here, but if you order the print book, you will also get a digital copy. So that's still the same. So I just want to show you that as well. So you have those options. In fact, I have a new hat pattern coming out. It's going to be a hat, and it's coming out in at the end of this month. And I actually did order some print patterns, so you'll be able to order it in either print or digital. So that's up to you there. So I'm going to go back to the comments here because I see that there's a few people who have been talking. First, I'm going to see. I just signed up for Instagram using my sister. Oh, okay, perfect. That's perfect. I'm glad you signed up. Okay, so now Deborah says, I love the cowl you're wearing. Makes me think of Crochet Conference. Mine is done and I love it. Oh, thank you, Deborah. This is my Into the Deep cowl. I'm going to take it off. This is my Into the Deep cowl. You can get this pattern now on my website. This was my 20th anniversary kit. I had them at the Chainlink conference in Portland. That's when my 20th anniversary hit. And Inner Yarn Zen actually designed the yarn for me. I kind of told her what I wanted, and then she developed this gradient for me for the kit. And I absolutely love it. I still have one hank of this left in my stash here that I want to do something else with it, and I just don't know what yet. But thank you, Deborah, for commenting on it. Let's see, Brad's mom, sister's Facebook account. If you see me, my name will be Carol, and there's a photo of her dog. Okay, Linda, I'll look for you actually. If Dawn's asking me if I've already tested, do I need to sign up again? No, Dawn, if you already have an account, because I'm using Yarn Pond still for testing. You don't have to sign up again. You're already in the system, and you'll get a notification when the test goes live. So, and I'll test. And if you signed up to be part of my testing pool. Every pattern that I test, I only select a limited number of people. Sometimes I get like 10, 15 more people than I need for the test. So now I gotta adjust this, guys, because it's bothering me that it's not centered. Anyway, it's my there. Okay. I always limit the number of people who test. I can't accept everyone, otherwise I'd be going out of my mind. And for those of you who just tested the pattern that's coming out later this month, my favorite hat, you'll be getting your codes sometime this week. So I had to wait until I got my website figured out before I could get codes out to you guys. So if you're watching this, that's something you need to think about. My friend just signed up for your newsletter at my suggestion. Does she have to give me a referral? No, she doesn't. And because this is a new thing, what would have happened is you would have sent her a link from your new account on my new website and said sign up as a sign up for an account here, not on my newsletter, but on the actual website. That's when she can get the referral. Now, since you are if you will go to my website right now and you were to sign up for my website, and you'll get the points that you already have from the old system. That'll give you your points, and now you are eligible to send her a referral link to sign up for my website, not for my newsletter. My newsletter is a totally different operation. That isn't included. It's for being able to access my patterns and purchase them and receive points in order to. So if you want that extra 100 points, I would send that to her, and as soon as she registers using that link, then you'll get the extra 100 points in your system. Does that make sense, Linda? I hope. I hope that makes sense. And Busy Hooker, good morning. I'm glad you're here. We were just talking about my new website. I have a new a new point reward system in my new website. I just switched over to Shopify, and I was just talking. Linda was just asking me about how the referrals work, because you get 100 points if you refer someone and they sign up for an account on my website. So. Just so you know what I'm talking about in the middle of all this. So anybody have any questions, anything else about that? I mean, about my website, about things coming up. Like I said, my favorite hat pattern is coming out on the 30th, I believe. So there you go. trying to think. Oh, I think I've showed you, I'm going to be having a new book come out. That'll be coming out in April. It's going to be an ebook only, and it's called Simply Blankets. I don't have the actual physical printed out copy of the ebook here right now. I don't know what happened to it. I've been organizing my office, and soon I will be doing a tour of my office on YouTube so you guys can see it. But but yeah, that's coming in April, so that's something you're going to be watching for. I hope you'll be watching for, I should ask. So just to say. And the other thing too is, if you're not following me on Instagram, or if you're just starting to follow me on Instagram, I'm doing videos every day. Yesterday I had one of those days because I was on the phone with tech support for so long. I didn't get the video done, so after this video I'm going to do the video for yesterday, and I'm also going to do the video for today for International Crochet Month. So I've been trying to keep up with those, and those are all on there. Yesterday was the craft storage, which I'll show you probably in my closet. And then today is coffee or tea. And if you guys watch me here every week, you know coffee is my thing. I do drink tea, but I'm a coffeeaholic, I guess is the best word for it. So that's all that's really new with me this week, because I've been dealing with the, switching over my website. That was kind of crazy. The other thing too, I've got a question to throw out there. This is just, it's been gnawing at me for the last week and a half, and I finally have come to a point where I think I need to ask you guys what you guys would want. And I'll probably put this in my newsletter. I'm going to send out a newsletter on Friday. So if you're not subscribed, you might want to subscribe, because I'm going to announce my new website. I'm going to announce the new points program. And everyone who's on my newsletter is going to get a coupon for 10 or 15% off everything in the shop to the end of the month. So I just want to let you know that if you're interested in that, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to also put this in the newsletter. But I'm curious, how many of you prefer to purchase patterns individually versus buying a book from the designer? And if you prefer one way or the other, tell me why. And if it doesn't matter to you either way, tell me why. Linda, your office can't be any worse than mine. You're getting just a small view of what I have. I mean, that's just the beginning of the mess right now that I've got to organize today. That's the new section that I'm organizing. Busy hooker. I'm also a coffee addict. Yes. Yes. Coffee. I cannot function in the morning without at least 2 cups of coffee. I try to limit myself at 2 of this size. This is 14 ounces. And then I go to water, but coffee is a must every morning. So tell me, guys, what do you prefer? Do you prefer buying individual patterns, or do you prefer buying books? I'll wait a couple minutes here. Okay, Busy Hooker says, if I'm looking for something specific, I buy one design from the creator. If I'm just browsing at Barnes & Noble and I like the designs in a particular book, I will buy that. So when you say you like the designs, does that mean you've got to like at least like 4 or 5, or does that mean there's only 2 that you like, that kind of thing? It's just, I'm working on my next book, but there's something gnawing at me that says I really should release these individually. And I don't know why. And I've been thinking about it and gnawing on it, and I need to sit down and talk to my husband about it, because sometimes just bouncing it off somebody else helps. But I just really need some input on, because my first book sold like gangbusters and is still selling like gangbusters. A Garden of Shawls is my biggest selling book ever. Amazon sells it like hotcakes. Coastal Crochet is the second book in the series, and that one all of a sudden has kicked up. And I think now it's because it's spring and there's more summery type of projects in there. Just so you know. Pineapple Passion and Modern Italian Lace Crochet both, well, I can honestly say Pineapple Passion tanked big time compared to the other two. I mean, I'm still selling those, and I sell digital more than I do print, but I have a huge stock of print books on Pineapple Passion. Modern Italian Lace sold quite a bit more than Pineapple Passion did, but it's still not to the level of Coastal and a Garden of Shawls. And I'm trying to determine whether or not I want to sink more money into printing books. So not to say that I'm never going to do another book, but I'm just wondering if right now I can, just do patterns individually, and then maybe in a year or two do another book. Let's see. Brat's mom says, it depends on the book. If there are several patterns in it that I love, I buy it. If there's only a single pattern in it isn't in a book, I'd buy the single pattern. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd say I have to want to try at least half the designs in the book in order to justify buying the book. Okay, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. But I am more likely to make something from a pattern I bought from someone off Etsy as opposed to a book as well. I have so many crochet books, I haven't cracked them open. Okay, so that leads me to another question, and that is, if you have the option to buy just digital versus a print book, and the digital version is reasonably priced, would you buy the digital book? Let's ask it that way too. Patricia, I normally buy individual for a specific pattern, but I also enjoy looking through books, but I would prefer the option to have either option. Okay. So, Pat, are you saying that if let's say like with a Garden of Shawls, all the shawl patterns currently can only be purchased if you purchase the book. If I decided, maybe in a couple more years, because it's not that old yet, if I decided to break out those patterns into, you could either buy them all together in the book or buy them separately. Would that be, I don't know if you have the book or not, but let's assume you don't have the book. Would that be an option for you? Or anybody else that wants to do that? Let me know. You fell in love with Pineapple Passion. I thought, what I've learned about pineapples, Linda, is that you either love them or you hate them. And pineapples to some people, apparently, this isn't the way I see pineapples because I like to make them more modern looking, but a lot of people see that as grandma's crochet. And they remember the doilies with pineapples and things like that. So, yeah, Ellen Gormanly did a really good push for me, and I did sell quite a few books, but I have so many books. In fact, I'm at the point of where I might just heavily discount them, probably closer to the end of the year, and see if I can sell off some of that stock, because I have so many of that. In fact, my husband even says that he hates lifting that box for me because it's so heavy. Oh, hi, Marianne. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you were able to pop in with us. We're just talking about whether you prefer to buy individual patterns or books, and then also digital or print. So Dawn, when I release patterns, you would like for me to have the option always for a printed version of the pattern rather than a digital version? Is that what you're saying? Or would you buy the digital version of the pattern and print it yourself? I'm just curious. I'm curious of which way you would buy it, is digital or print. And Patricia, yes, says yes. So you were saying that if I were to break out the patterns, you would prefer to just pick and choose which pattern you want to buy. Okay. Busy hooker. Oh, I don't know. I'm a bookworm, so I like to have physical copies on my shelf. But digital patterns are easy to store on the computer. Yes. And, I am a bookworm myself. When I show you my office, you'll see my book stash. And it's not as big as some people's are. but because I'm very picky with my books as well. But I do have a lot of books that honestly, I have to have it in print. I mean, I have quite a few on my iPad that are digital, and most of them are Stitch dictionaries, although now I'm starting to think I might buy them in print because I'd like to have them in print. But I am definitely on the digital, on the print end for most stuff. Let's see. I like either print or digital. If only digital is available, that's fine too. I can print out patterns as I need. Right. Okay. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad you liked my patterns. Mary Ann would like them in print. Okay, so that's one of the things I am going to do with patterns themselves going forward. Is in fact, I just ordered copies of the new pattern that's coming out later this month, and I'll have them in stock. I'm only buying small quantities because I want to see right now for the first couple patterns that I'm going to release this way with both digital and print to see how the print sell. If they sell out and people are asking me for more, I'll probably order a number of print patterns because I have them professionally printed. They're printed on nice cardstock. They have if they're more than 4 pages, they'll be stapled so that it's like a book. And they're 8.5. Well, they're 8.5 by 10, and it's not quite 11. They make them just a little bit smaller, but you know, it's like an 8.5 by 11 size pattern. Let me see if I can pull one out. Oh no, I can't right now. I forgot that my filing cabinet has my big old heavy garbage can with all the stuff I just tossed in front of it, and I'm not moving it. So, but. They're about 8.5 by 11, so that makes sense. Let's see. Doris Chan loved the look of pineapples when her mother crocheted them, but she hated the tiny thread and hooks. Yep, and that's exactly how I feel about them too, because I learned lace, and I didn't do lace for a long time on the fine yarns because the little tiny hooks. But then when I started to work with yarns more and all the new yarns that are out there, everything with my lace came back. Marianne's, sometimes I buy books. Okay. Marianne, can you expand on that a little? What makes you buy a book? Because I'm trying to determine if what I was originally going to release as a book, if I'm going to release them as individual patterns. And I'm actually, because they all are on a theme and I have this whole idea of what I want it to be, I might do it as a pattern club. That's the other thing too, is where you can either buy into the pattern as it's released, or you can, order ahead of time that say, yeah, I want to be part of the club, and you get all these other little things besides the pattern as part of the club, and do like a 12-month club where you get a pattern every month for a discounted price or something like that. So those are all little things that are going through my head. It could be that I just released the patterns and I offer print and digital, but that's just something that I'm thinking about. Dawn, I can print a pattern myself, but book-wise I would rather buy the book, not digital. Okay. So Dawn, you're saying that if the pattern is only available in digital, you'd be fine with that. But if it's available in print or digital, which way would you go? Just out of curiosity. I'm just trying to get a feel for what you guys want. It's really hard for me in that respect because, every time I release a pattern, I print one out on my printer and I stick it in a book because I just like to have that physical. Now that I'm printing them professionally, I'll probably keep a professional copy in a book. But I'm just curious. Okay, Deborah, prefer individual. Have too many books that I don't use. Yes, I do too. I do too. And sometimes I buy a book because it's my favorite designer. I have several favorite designers from even before I started designing myself. One of them, she doesn't release books anymore. She used to work with Leisure Arts a lot, and I think I have every single one of her pattern leaflets that Leisure Arts put out. And I don't think I've done well, I can't say that because she did a lot of edgings, and I use a lot of her edgings and modify them to work on my patterns. But other than that, I don't use a whole lot of her patterns. Let's see. I liked autographed print books, but if that is available, I can do digital, no problem. Okay. The book that I'm releasing in April, I'm doing it digital because it's an old book that I've revamped. I've made charts for. And I've actually in the past tried to sell them individually, and they didn't go at all for some reason. So that's why I'm doing them as a book. They're all blankets, big blankets, and done in worsted weight yarn. So if you like worsted weight yarn, this might be a book for you. But I figured, you know what, they're just sitting there, these patterns. So I'm just going to keep them as a book. And it's going to be, I think I'm selling it for $4.99, and you get 6 patterns. So I think it's $4.99. I have to go back and look what I priced it at. But it's going to be, it's no more than $5.99. I know that. I think pretty sure it's $4.99. And I'm going to do a series of my old patterns that were in books. So the next one that'll come out probably sometime next year is called Simply Handbags. It's my Simply series. I did this series back in 2002, 2003, 2004, called the Simply series, and I did Simply Baby Afghans, which was the first one, and that's already available. It's now called Baby Blankets because that seems to be the new term. So Simply Baby Blankets is on my website right now, so you can look at that. Then there's this one's coming out as Simply Blankets, which is 6 blankets. And then Simply Handbags will come out in a year or two. And then I have Simply Scarves. And then I have a book that I'm probably going to change the name of it. And I'm going to have redo most of the designs because they're all done in yarns that are old. Old and dated. I mean, they're not even available anymore. And if I redo that book, it's going to be all wraps and ponchos type of things. So, and I'm going to make them a little more up to date and release that as a digital as well. So those are just so you guys get an idea. I mean, you can go on Amazon and search for me, and you could look for all these books. Just type Simply Blankets or Simply Afghans, Simply Handbags, Simply Scarves, and then Wrap It Up as the wraps. I didn't call them Simply Wraps or anything like that because I was working with another publisher back then. But yeah, so, okay. So, Busy Hooker. Honestly, considering cost and ease of purchase, I'm more likely to buy an individual pattern because it would be cheaper than a whole book, right? And probably quicker. Okay, that's a good point. I didn't think about impulse buying. And so that you guys know, I mean, I'm going to be releasing some free patterns too. Some of my really old patterns are going to go out there. And if you were watching me before when I was showing you my new website, under the freebies tab, that's where all the free patterns will be. And I have to be able to put up the old free pattern page. Because I have a whole bunch of free patterns out there that like Annie's catalog has, and there's a couple other places that have my free patterns. Yarn Inspirations has a couple, but I have to get my old website back up so I can get those links because those links are all stored there. So those will be there. And then I have some really old patterns like my coaster pattern that I had on my blog. That'll go up there. My Simply Stripes Baby Afghan, other things like that that I offer for free. So it's not, I want you guys to have free patterns, but I also have to make a living. So, so I'm trying to figure out the balance here, especially since my last 2 books didn't sell as well as what I thought they were going to do. So that's why I'm asking these questions. Because you guys are my buyers and my followers, and you are the ones, I want to be able to, make sure that you get what you want and need. So, and that's the most important thing for me, is that I share my knowledge and use my creativity to your benefit, not to mine, your benefit. Okay. Last book of patterns I purchased had more than one pattern I wanted, was paperback, and I was able to tear one pattern page without info. Oh, so if you wanted to tear a picture or a pattern out of the book, you could do that. Is that what you're saying, Marianne? So that you didn't have to take the whole book with you. Because I print everything in paperback or on cardstock. So that's just so that you guys know what's going on. Oh, by the way, for that Simply Babies Blank, or for that Simply Blankets book, I can't even talk today. I did price out what it would cost me to print it, and it would cost me so much to have them printed that it wouldn't be worth the price of purchasing a print book. That's why I'm not doing it printed as well. If I'm buying a single pattern, it's because I want it right now, so digital is good. Okay, that's good to know. Just thinking that as I'm sitting here listening to the Vonco. What's Vonco? I don't know what Vonco is. Oh, combo. Got you. Okay, cool. Okay, so Marianne, you're saying yes, you want to be able to tear a pattern out of a book. That's good to know. 'Cause most people don't want to tear things out of a book. They usually go to the library if they don't have a printer or copier and make a photocopy of it. But I know that that's been kind of frowned on these days because of copyright. A lot of people don't want to copyright or don't want you to copy their patterns because they're afraid you're going to be just handing them out for free. So, and I know that it seems like these days most people know that if you purchase a pattern, you're not free to just photocopy it and give it to a bunch of people. Or if you buy a digital pattern, you really shouldn't be sending it out to all your friends or putting it online for free, that kind of thing. One of the things I will tell you is those of you who bought single patterns from me and even my books digitally, the book funnel that I use, not only does it serve my patterns to you, but it also puts encryption in it. So I know that if I find a pattern free out on the web, I can read who sent it somewhere. So that's just something that my attorney asks me to do so that I can protect myself. Just so that you guys know, and I know you guys aren't the ones that are doing it, and there are people out there that do that. So and that's another reason why I'm looking at the books going, is it worth it? Is it worth all the stress of finding out that someone bought a digital book and put it out there for free? And that's happened. In fact, I've had to write cease and desist letters or have my attorney write them. So that's another reason why I'm going, it's easier with a single pattern than it is with a book. So so I just thank you for all your insight. I mean, it's so important that I give you what you need. I mean, I know that's a good point, Patricia. Yes, I'm going to put that up there too. I know that a lot of people want to have the patterns individually so they can mark it up, and then I know with a couple people that will take a pattern in a book and make a photocopy of it, and then mark it up, and then they keep it with the book. So sometimes a little thin book will end up being thicker because they have all these notes that are written in there for each pattern. So that makes sense too. So so you guys are making me think that I might just go I'm going to have to think about it more and do some number crunching. But honestly, the fact that I am going to be offering this new pattern, let me show you. I think I've shown it to you before. Here we go. This is my favorite hat. This is going to be released at the end of March. And I know for most of us, the end of March is not winter, but this is just something that I love the colors and I wanted to get it out there. This is a fun little hat. It's crocheted. It looks like it's knitted, but it's crocheted. It's got a removable pom-pom on it, so you don't have to put the pom-pom on it. But this is the pattern that's going to be the first one released in print and in digital. So if you're interested in this pattern, be watching because you'll have a 25% off coupon, and you'll get it for either print or digital. I do that on purpose because my subscribers me into your inbox. I mean, I know that it's easy to subscribe to somebody and then realize I'm getting too much email and unsubscribe. And the fact that you don't unsubscribe me is huge. And that's why you are the only ones who get a discount. So make sure that you are watching for it. Yay, Linda, I'm so glad you like it. And I like it because I used a removable or a faux fur pom-pom. But you can do a pom-pom in the same yarn or a different yarn, you know, regular pom-pom. It doesn't matter. You don't have to use the faux for this one. In fact, the pattern will tell you that. And when I start posting on Instagram about the new pattern, I'm going to be sharing my testers who tested this pattern, their pictures. Most of them did not use a faux pom-pom. They used the yarn that they used. So you'll see it in both forms. And I'm really excited because my photographer, so first time in years and years and years and years that I actually have a male model modeling this, and he's the cutest little thing. So it's a male model on this one. So I'm really excited to actually have a male model in my catalog again. It used to be my son, and my son doesn't live here anymore, and I refuse to take pictures anymore myself. So I'm just not good at it. So I'm really excited to have that pattern released out there. So you guys have given me a whole lot of food for thought. So, and if you are subscribed to my newsletter, I would really appreciate it. Even though you gave me your feedback here, put it in the next newsletter. I'm in the survey. I do a survey now through my newsletter software. I don't use Google Forms anymore because Google Forms made it so hard for me to extract the information. And my newsletter now has a survey field that I can use that I can ask questions. And so I'd really appreciate it if you guys would take that survey and just give me the highlights of what you all told me here, just so that I have it in print as well as in just in my mind of what you guys have said. So it is almost 10 o'clock my time here. I'm gonna be here for another it's 9:57 my time. So I've got another few minutes here. So if you guys want to ask me anything else or want to comment on anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'll start my sign off. But I thought I'd give you guys a chance to chat. And be watching for that newsletter because I will have a discount coupon for you guys. So be watching. It's going to be a discount on everything on my new website, books, patterns, everything. So it's going to be kind of a celebration of having a stable website again. So, and then when, because it's going to be good from Friday to the end of the month, but when this pattern comes out, because I give you 25% off that pattern, the extra 10 or 15, I can't remember what I decided it was going to be, is not applicable to this because it's already discounted to 25%. So I looked for that hat, and yeah, you know what? It is Gypsy Market. The yarn is Gypsy Market. I don't think she has this particular colorway in stock right now, but email her if you really like this colorway. If you really like this colorway, I would email, use their contact form and say, hey, Karen is releasing this pattern. I really want to do it in this colorway. Are you planning to dye it? I don't know if it was just a custom color that she did, or she sent it to me about a year ago. And I know it was originally, I want to say that color might have been her club color, but I think it's another one that I have on my shelf that's her club color that I haven't used yet. So just so you guys know. So just check with her. Oh, you're welcome, Marianne. This is DK. I use DK weight yarn on this one. It's her spectacular DK, stupendously spectacular DK, something like that. It's listed in the pattern, but it is a DK weight yarn. It's a really soft DK weight yarn too. I think it's 100% wool. You don't have to use 100% wool, but I'm pretty sure this one is. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. I'm trying to branch out a little more besides the fingering and the lace weight. You're still going to see a lot of fingering from me, but I'm trying to do more, you know, some DK in there as well. And like they said, my blanket book that's coming out, that one is all worsted. I think everything in there is worsted weight. And I did see Mary Ann said we were difficult because of your cancer and COVID, and I understand that completely. Believe me, I understand. I mean, even with you guys know I have cancer as well, and even though mine is not as visible to you guys because it's in my bladder, and it's not. I'm not getting treatments for that are. I'm getting immunotherapy treatments, and so it's not as severe of a treatment. But I understand being very, very cautious of going out, heading out for your vaccine. Good. Bye, Marianne. Have a good rest of your day. And I'm going to head out here too because it is now 10 o'clock. So I am going to sign off, unless you guys have any other questions before I sign off. So for those of you who are just, you know, chiming in, just make sure you find out more about me on my new website. I mean, it's the same URL, but I've got a brand new website, KarenHooley.com. And make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter so that you can get this pattern at 25% off. If you do that now, you'll be sure to get that coupon when the pattern goes live on the 30th. And you can see it there down below on the ticker. You can also follow me on Instagram at Karen Hooley. Make sure there's no spaces in between Karen and Hooley, because that's my personal Instagram. Then that's only family and friends, and it's private, so you won't be able to follow me there. So make sure you've got Karen Hooley all together. Also, if you're watching this on Rumble or thinking about watching me on Rumble, I always upload these videos after the fact at this web link down here below. And if you're on Rumble watching this, make sure you hit the subscribe button right above this video. It's the green button that says subscribe, and you will be notified every time I upload my live videos. And then if you are thinking about using Rumble, there is my affiliate link to subscribe to Rumble. So you can check that out as well. Rumble is just a different video platform, and I'm really enjoying it myself. So make sure you check that out as well. And if you have any other questions for me, you know, you can go to my website and say hello there, and I will see you next week. Hope you have a great one. Bye, everyone.